Welcome everyone. Now that we've got some rubber bands put together, now we have to figure out first, how do we adjoin the rubber bands to our Barbie? For today, I'm going to use a monkey instead of a Barbie, but it'll work the same way. And then we also need to talk about how are we going to measure how far the Barbie or the monkey travels. So if I switch over my camera here, let me show you first how to adjoin the rubber bands to your creature. So here you'll notice that in addition to my rubber bands and my monkey, I've got a paper clip, and that's what you're going to need to adjoin these two together. And I like to start by straightening these out. And I'm first going to go and loop around one of the rubber bands at the end. And you, depending on what kind of doll you have, you might have to put both legs together. Sometimes just one leg will be fine. Just for the sake of balancing it out, I'm going to do it around both monkey's legs. Okay, so if I go like this, I'm going to treat this a little bit like a twist tie. Okay, so if I compress the legs, that way they don't slip out when we go diving in a moment. I'm going to twist it a little bit, and then maybe so I don't get poked, I'm going to wrap it around just like this. Okay. Do whatever you need to do so that when your Barbie, or in this case a monkey, goes bungee jumping, we don't want him or her to fall off. Okay, so there we go. We're nice and secure. If I pull that, there's no movement, not shifting around at all, so we should be safe on this monkey. Now, when it comes to measuring, you're going to need either a yardstick, or you might even need to mark on a wall 1 inch, 2 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and so on. There are some nice measuring tapes that you have out there, whatever you have available to you. But in our first part of the project, we have to measure how far does our doll go with 0 rubber bands, with 1, 2, all the way up to 7. So when it comes to 0 rubber bands, that is exactly that. We want to just hang our doll, whatever our creature is, and see how many inches does it travel, okay? So in this case, we're just measuring the length. That is 5 inches. So for 0 rubber bands, I would say 5 inches, okay? Where this gets a little tricky is when we actually start to use rubber bands. So here we've got 1 rubber band. So you see here I've got the length of 1 rubber band. I'm placing that at the top of my yardstick. And I like to have the monkey just stand at the top, and he's going to do a free fall, okay? Now, my monkey doesn't weigh very much. Barbies weigh quite a bit more, so that might work a little better in this case. But what you want to do is measure how far down does the head go at the very lowest point, okay? So it's kind of difficult to do this with the naked eye. So if you have a slow-mo feature on your phone camera, that might be your best bet here, okay? So again, if I drop this, of course I would let it free fall, but let's say it just goes down to 9 inches. Okay, so on my sheet under 1 rubber band, I would write 9 inches. Then again, if I have 2 rubber bands, I'm going to go to the second rubber band, hold that here, stand my doll at the top and let it free fall like that. Of course, it's going to go down further this time. Let's say at the very bottom, I went to 14 inches. So on my sheet, I would write 14 inches. So you're going to continue this for 0 rubber bands all the way up to 7 rubber bands, and then you can proceed with what the instructions in the sheet tell you to do.